Welcome. Fade to Black breaking news for this Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Almost said 4. This is all the news that you need. I'm Jimmy Church. Let's get straight to it. On this day in history, 1966, the London Evening Standard publishes a quote from John Lennon saying that the Beatles are bigger than Jesus. Well, 4 months later, on this day, the scandal broke in the U.S. Lennon says he was just cracking a joke. Here's your fader fact. Didn't know this. A day on Venus is longer than its year. Yeah, imagine if that went down here on Earth. Let's get to the breaking news. Iranian intelligence has sent word to the United States it is prepared to open talks to end the war. U.S. officials say there are no negotiations or off-ramps to end anything. Instead, American officials say the United States is entering a new, more intensive phase of the war. Meanwhile, a U.S. submarine sunk an Iranian warship with a single torpedo in the Indian Ocean, the first time since World War II. The world's first commercial space telescope has released its first image as it begins a journey to help track nearby stars that may host habitable exoplanets. Yeah, looking for ET. The suitcase-sized satellite, called MAVE, launched atop a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket last November. MAVE pointed at a star known as Ursa Majoris, capturing a 5-second observation in the visible and ultraviolet portions of the light spectrum. Incredible. NASA has repaired its Artemis 2 rocket, keeping things on track for a possible April launch of the first crewed moon mission in more than 50 years. Engineers made a fix to restore consistent helium flow to the upper stage of Artemis 2's Space Launch System SLS rocket. NASA is getting ready to roll the rocket back out to its launch pad later this month. All right, now it's April. A Georgia jury found Colin Gray guilty yesterday on charges including second-degree murder and manslaughter stemming from a 2024 mass shooting committed by his teenage son with an AR-15 rifle he gifted him as a Christmas present. The jury found the 55-year-old Gray guilty on 27 counts, all of them. 2 other counts were dropped. The jury deliberated fewer than 2 hours before returning its verdict. Yeah, he now faces between 10 and 20 years in prison. A Japanese court has upheld an order to dissolve the controversial Unification Church. That's right, the Moonies. Last year, a district court in Tokyo ordered the church to disband after Japan accused it of manipulating followers into making huge donations. The Tokyo High Court denied the church's appeal and rejected its argument that the donations were part of legitimate religious activities. Yeah. And finally, I'm going to leave you with this. An East Hollywood, right here in LA, an East Hollywood resident says she's become the latest victim of a Coco food delivery robot after it uprooted her garden and got entangled in her fence. The incident occurred over the weekend. Resident Kaya Reel saying that she was inside her home when she heard all of the commotion the robot was making. It got caught in her fence and uprooted a whole bunch of stuff in her garden and then just drove away with the fence, palm fronds, and much of her garden attached to it. Kaya ran after it, but the robot didn't slow down and dragged her fencing and palm fronds that were scraping cars parked along the street. Yeah, it's now officially a Black Mirror world. Seriously. There you go. There's all the Fade to Black breaking news that you need for this Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. Breaking news is produced by Renee Neumann. And tonight on Fade to Black, it's the big one. Sylvie Sterling is here. She's the cat whisperer. I'll see you tonight on Fade to Black. Until then, all I've got is go Backley Tappy.